Hello there everyone, this is Mark III and welcome back to Dyson Sphere Program's second launch. I just figured I'd do the sunset here, just look at that. Look at that. This game nails the visuals so well. Plus I kind of wanted to share it because this is a pretty nice looking blue gas giant. Very, very gassy. Yes. But I should also probably mention why I'm out here, which is, since I got production started on gas collecting, I have a couple of them in my inventory. Just a few. Just a few. I was going around reinforcing my deuterium and hydrogen supply lines, seeing as my forge world burns through way more hydrogen and deuterium than I actually thought it ever would. So I wanted to reinforce that, so I revisited that one from a few episodes ago, where I got my first deuterium extractors down. Then I found this one, which is about the same distance from my core world, but this one produces at just over 4 times the rate. So that's why I came here to set up harvesting on this one as well. So there was quite some variance between the different gas giants. But anyway, let's move on, because we do have some things to do today. And they are all related. Question mark. There it is. There's signaling. Just boost out of the gas giant's gravity well. There we go. Wait, no, it's Castor I want to go to. Right. So, my first stop is actually going to be home planet. Because, well, don't know if you've been watching the research tracker or not. Mark it. There we go. Right. But for the last few episodes, the research tracker top left has actually been there and it's been stuck there. So I need to check on that because my core world doesn't seem to be researching, unfortunately. Which ties into the first thing, which is happy if I mentioned that. I haven't shown you guys the tech tree for quite a while now. And that's because, honestly, there's not been much going on with the tech tree, really. Last time I showed it to you guys, I actually researched literally everything I will think that requires anything short of universe matrices. And so all the stuff was like universe matrices, the white ones, really. Are we almost there? Yeah, we're almost there. And so it's there's not much to say about it, really. Though there are some upgrades and things we do need to be doing, but unfortunately this is why I need to go back to the home planet and investigate what the heck's going on. Speaking of, here we go. Where do I need to go? I need to go somewhere this way. Oops. Would help if I wasn't flying it upside down. There we go. Okay, so plenty of resources here. So why isn't research running? What's it short on? This place is stacked up pretty heavily. Oh, here we go. An empty belt into red. No, wait, no. Is that the antimatter line? I think it is the antimatter line. We don't have antimatter, I think. I'm impressed with myself. I actually remember that because it's been, honestly, I've not been back to this planet in 24 hours game time, or a month or so real time. So it's been a while. It's been a while. But this, I think, should be the antimatter line. Yes, it is. Okay, why aren't you running? You aren't running because hydrogen. Fair enough. You're running because you are backed up on hydrogen. Well, hydrogen is... I guess hydrogen is backed up because this world is not responsible for actually producing any any of the other stuff anymore. So okay, I'm going to put in a release valve then. I'm going to put in a release valve. That's, I think, the fastest way to solve this. Quick and easy. That is a thing. Oop. There we go. You will priority output that side, but if you are full, then you will release this way. And because it's so close, this will automatically be grabbed from by the hydrogen ships coming from the forge world. So that's just fine. But that should get antimatter firing back up. I'll also make sure to give this thing at least warpers and its own stock of shuttles, just so that it can do that. There we go. I know I've just slapped 18 there, but it's like, I had 80, an odd stack left over, so, you know, might as well. But, there we go, that should allow it to burn off and keep running. And to act as a further backup, I suppose, I'll do something which will tell you a little bit of what I've been doing in the meantime, which is I'll install another thing here. Okay. You will call for warpers. Just drop you down to 100. Demand. This world, by the way, is still my only source of warpers. That I'll give you some ships, and I will tell you to import antimatter to maintain 1,000. And oh look, a shipment of antimatter's coming in. I wonder where that came from. Gee, it's almost like I'm making antimatter somewhere else. Weird, isn't it? But there we go, okay, that's the research issue resolved. But to quickly clarify, this is the state of my research tree at the moment. It's like all over the place. That needs white. That needs white. Yep. The main thing missing is this part down here, because this all needs white, unfortunately. Yes, thank you, autosave. Autosaves are taking longer and longer, I must admit, because, well, the save is getting bigger. Technology-wise, as you can see, we're all here. So this answers Happy Afer's other question, which is, how long will it take to start the Dyson Sphere? I plan to do that this episode, actually. And, oh, there's something there that requires the less stuff, which is increase the size of the Dyson Sphere. Okay, I'll do that. I'll tap off that for a moment. And then queue it after that. Just let it get that. But I've been able to build Dyson Spheres for quite a while now. It's just that I lacked the parts for it. And I'll explain in a moment as I do a very brief time skip, which will be a transit to Kuat Minor. Because there have been some changes at Kuat Minor after the last episode. Okay, here we are, Kuat Minor. This is a little note I left myself, which is if I plan to make antimatter fuel rods here, a chain of 60 assemblers is what will be supplied and work properly. I also left myself a little note down here as we go through all the busyness that these are the buildings we're not currently producing here, one of which is important, which is the vertical launch silo. We need those. But also of note is the fact that this strip of land here is basically the only free space left on this entire planet. The entire thing is now built up, built over, and not sustaining itself, I must admit. Power issues and also material issues, like for example it's actually running short on titanium is a thing. Also to the north I tore out the vast majority of the solar panels, there's one ring left as you can see, and installed some more production lines. So there's producing titanium crystals, they're producing graviton lenses, and they are producing strange matter in this ring of particle accelerators. I'm not sure why you're not working. Why aren't you working? I think that one's not powered. Okay, so that needs an extra power pole. I'm also over here producing antimatter. So this is where that antimatter was shipped in from before. This little set here is producing antimatter. So, as you can see, Kuat Minor has gone further. I decided I would slap in production lines for everything that I have built previously. Just listen to all that industry coming away. So everything I've built previously, this world is able to produce. And yes, it was just an issue of not enough power. Okay. So, moving on. The last thing we need is, to make our dream a reality, vertical launch silos, which requires titanium alloy, frame parts, lenses, and quantum chips, all of which are now actively in production. So that's part of the reason why I was doing that, but that's also why I've been focusing on this world so much for the last 5 episodes, 6 episodes, 7 episodes? Something like that? Something like that. Just because the thing that's been stopping me from doing the Dyson Sphere so far has not been a research issue. It has actually entirely been a production issue. And until I could get this thing mass producing everything I needed, I wasn't really ready to try starting doing it. Let's go ahead and get this thing slapped in. One, beep. And the only thing that we're not actually making right now on this world is the annihilation constraint spheres, which we did start making on the other world, I admit, but we're not making them here. But apart from that, we're also not making. We're not making the solar sails or the Dyson Sphere components, because those two need production lines of their own, which this world doesn't actually have space to install, really. And they aren't actually needed for building actual structures, which is what, at the end of the day, Co-op Miner is actually entirely focused on. This world makes buildings, and that's all I've ever been gearing it up towards. So we're going to make the shift to the other worlds in this system, the lava world, and we'll start converting that as our supply point for actually getting all this done, because this world will provide literally everything else that we need. So let's see, 1,000, yep. Storage, local supply, yep. Just need to get all this stuff sorted out. Beep. Beep. Actually, I could probably start producing warpers very easily on this world now. I'll probably do that before I ship out to get the other thing sorted out. Beep. Yep, that's all we need. 2,000, 2,000, 2,000, and 2,000. There we go, and this should just start filling up and start production. And then this is the last piece we need, because these things are responsible for launching the actual frame parts to get our Dyson Sphere started. Oh, joyous day. Yep, that should deal with it. Very, very nice. And the last thing we need to do is we need to go into here, and we need to set up a Dyson shell. So the default Dyson shell actually matches the default Dyson swarm, and that's fine because the shell actually draws in satellites from the swarm to help build itself. So that'll do that, but ideally I would have a Dyson swarm going around in a vertical arrangement rather than in the horizontal plane, because then that could hit any latitude of it. But yeah, right now we are set to build essentially a ring world around this thing once we get that started out, but that'll do for now. That'll do for now. Oh look, they're already producing stuff. Most excellent. Problem is, it just takes them a while because these things are kind of complex. Yeah, 30 seconds each. That's just another reason for the time skip, though. That said, though, Happy Aether, thank you very much for confirming that I do sound better now that I'm back on my meds. I was wondering, which is why I was taking it slightly easy with producing things, but yeah, I think I'm back to how I was, more or less, and that is great. To make warpers, I need cubes. To make the cubes, I need a couple of bits and bobs. I should be able to fit that in, no problem. I'll just I'll probably tear out some solar panels around here or something and do that. Oh, also, this world doesn't have enough proliferators. Shocker, I know, but we'll do that at the other world as well. For now, though, it just needs a little bit of time to build up some launch silos for us. So yeah, see you in a few moments. For you. For me, it's probably going to be a little while. Okay, we're giving it a little bit of time to build up some vertical launch silos, and I don't know if you can see the tiny little addition to the skyline of Kuat Minor. It's something really small, it's not very significant at all. It's might be easy to miss. Here's a hint, it glows green. Yeah. Yes, this world is the Hulk. No. What I've done is I've taken one space roughly the size of a normal building layout. I've rigged it up with a ton of green matrix production. And I've also rigged it up for production of space warpers. So yes, Kuat Minor now locally produces space warpers in quantities far above what it needs. So it's already built like 4,500 or so. So yeah. It also can export the green gravity matrices if I want it to. It's I don't know if I want it to or not, but hey, it's a thing. And if we look, we have about just shy of 400 vertical launch silos in stock. Because remember, we've got that one, and we've got 120 on the actual export site as well. So that's that. So let's go and build us a planetary factory for Dyson Sphere components. And then, at long last, we can actually get started on our Dyson Sphere. Not Dyson Swarm, a Dyson Sphere. This is going to take a lot of factories. Which is fine. So, we're beginning with flattening out suitable lands, just to start in getting infrastructure in place, just to get started. We need a place to start. And part of that is going to be getting base materials sorted out for the actual production process. So, I'm not going to rely on Kuat Minor for this. Kuat Minor honestly has struggles with itself as well. It will import stuff if it can, if it's available, but Kuat Minor, by the very nature of its design, will prioritize, doing its own thing over there. So we need to be able to produce stuff locally. Let's see, we need photochemical diamonds of graphene, silicon, we need alloy, which needs titanium. We do need more titanium refining anyway. We need steel. So we're going to be starting getting some production chains going over here. And there was a comment a little bit ago about like a few episodes back now. I think I want to do it this way. Yes. Which was like, about daisy chaining stuff together. And I do believe I addressed this at the time, but I'm going to say it again right now. The reason I'm doing this with the logistics stations is just because it's so easy to slap these things in where you want them to be. So you don't have to worry about setting things up, just between them. Whereas if you're daisy chaining stuff, then you're really going to have to like custom build it the whole time. So one there as well. Oh, that doesn't. That's clashing with a power line. I'll remove these as well. I'll remove these. There we go. And of course, as you can see, I'm already shipping in some parts and things, ready to just do the thing, including EM rail ejectors. We'll need more of those, and the actual vertical launch silos as well. So yeah, we're going to do what we can to produce locally and not rely on Kuat Minor for actually supplying stuff, because let's face it, Kuat Minor produces a wide variety of stuff, but it doesn't produce the quantities of stuff which we are currently looking for, which is the whole point of starting to lay production lines out over here. Of course, I must say the things. It begins times 42 or something. The factory must grow larger. Yes, the factory grows. And go big or go home. Can't forget that one. Well, this is going to be like. This entire planet's going to be dedicated towards it, so yeah, go big or go home, I guess. And yes, I know, there are mineral deposits and things on this world which are not tapped out. This world was never fully developed for mining, unfortunately, but now I want it for something else, so I'm going to have to sacrifice that and give up on those resources, but I'm okay with that. I am okay with that. Oh, how quickly things change. Okay, so first step basically completed? Basically, I guess. So what I've done is, as you can see, I've rigged up the pole with a battery of ray receivers and electromagnetic launchers. I've done the same on the opposite pole, by the way, over there. And with the exception of a graphene production line, or graphite production line, I keep getting mixed up on which one it is. Which is it? Graphene, yep. So apart from a graphene production line, this is all the necessary production to produce the parts for just the basic satellites, so the Dyson sats. And I will tell it to start importing for sats. I also need to make sure I've told the filter to do it properly. Yes, I have. Okay, so you are set for the sats, and you will locally demand like 1,000 of those guys. And then this barrage of launchers should be enough to keep things rolling quite nicely. Yep, here come the sats right now. I'll tell it to give 100%. And very quickly pop north just to do that. So I admit that this place will be importing graphene from Kuat Miner for the time being, but I intend to get that sorted out locally as well. So that should be all good, right? There we go. So, but just getting more satellites into position should be a big help in trying to sort all this out. And yeah, look at that barrage of launchers going. Just like, hey, we need to do a thing. Daka, daka, daka. It's great. And you can see that the rate of fire already is like higher than that one. So it's doing its own thing, and it's very rapidly expanding the swarm. Also, the new orbit, as you can see, is set at a 90-degree ring, so this means that it'll hit any area of the Dyson sphere as it starts to go up, and be able to integrate satellites into it. So that's also good. So that's all rolling. Jolly good. Just turn you down. No reason why I shouldn't, but every reason why I should. So let's do that. So next stage. The next thing we require is the small carrier rockets, which requires Dyson sphere components, which requires frame materials, which is also where we require the titanium alloys to come in as well. So, yeah, just start bolting in some factory lines to do all that. So, a 3, a 3, and a 3. Okay, all of these require 3 each. That shouldn't be too hard. We are steadily taking over this world and turning it into another Forge world, though, must admit. I mean, this planet served okay as an energy source, but now I need to land for other things. Look at how fast that's going. Wow. What are we at so far for the Dyson Swarm? Dyson Swarm production is just going beep, 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 zoop, and we're already double what we were. Most excellent. You know, I think I get it. I also think I get it now. I never really clicked with it before, but I honestly think I get it. I get the point of manufacturing worlds. By which I mean entire worlds dedicated to producing a single thing. I was also a little bit shaky on that, but I've just reached the point where it's clicked. It's like a lot of what I'm doing right now is I'm having to basically faff around a little bit, just like meshing in all these different products and things like that. Just a bit here, a bit there, a bit somewhere else, you know? But if I had an entire world dedicated, which I was just saying, this is going to be my world making this, my world making that, then it wouldn't matter anymore, would it? I have one line, then I put down a bunch of copies of it, and then if I'm running short on that material, I go back and I just duplicate the blueprint some more. And there you go, suddenly production is increased. The world is saved. Hugs and rainbows for everyone. Well, maybe not all of those, but you know, you get the gist of it. Because honestly, a big thing that's slowing me down with doing things as I am right now, and as I hate to admit, is just getting all the individual lines laid in is actually my big issue. So I'm having to stop, adjust, retool for every single resource, and honestly, I'm digging back through the production chain towards small carrier rockets, and I'm needing I'm needing most of the production list, so a production world is actually making a lot of sense to me right now. It would make things a lot easier, and apparently I've got a shortage of processors around. Oh dear. Well, if I make semiconductors locally, then I'll be able to start producing processors locally as well, because I'm already making electronics locally. So, yeah. But I just wanted to share that little insight. It's like, suddenly the world makes a little bit more sense. And no sense at the same time.
You have built a vertical launching silo. Now you can use it to construct the main structure of the Dyson sphere. But before that, you need to enter the Dyson sphere panel to finish planning the Dyson sphere nodes and frames. After the plan is completed, the vertical launching silo will automatically launch small carrier rockets loaded with Dyson sphere components to build the nodes and frames. Each rocket provides one structure point, and you can use the vertical launching silo panel to master the required structured points.
Okay. So, one structure point, vertical silo, to master the required structure points. Okay, so I need to actually go into the Dyson shell and configure this thing. A node, a frame, a shell. Dyson node and frames. Okay. So I need to... Those are too far apart. Okay. So if I select this, then it won't work? Okay. Guess let's go with that. And it needs to go... So these go by twos, right? Oh, I see. Okay, right. So I need to actually lay out the thing I want first, and then it lets me start deploying the rockets. I must admit, though, I am doing this with supplies I've got in hand, because I am actually running 2, 4... Actually, this is not optimum, is it? Remove all this. Because these things can go to a distance of 2 squares, right? From what I understand so far. So I just need to go ahead and do like that. Right? And then I need to frame Let's go with diamonds. Like
You
that.
have finished the Dyson shell planning. Once nodes and frames are done construction, the Dyson shell will put solar sails to use automatically. Each solar sails provide one cell point, and you can click the shell to view the total number of cell points required.
Okay, so I just need to keep going then. Can I copy this? How do I paste? Give me a sec. It ain't pretty, but it'll do for now. So this will be the shell, I guess. It's really just getting a bunch of grids up to start out with, so, you know, it's nothing fancy. So, I need to connect this thing to the supply of these guys. I've got like 7,000 rockets, so who knows how well that's going to work out. But I will do that for a local demand, send 500 my way. The question is now is how am I going to load these things? How can I get belts around them? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, they block completely, don't they? Oops. Okay. So I can't really... I can walk through that, but I can't belt through it. So can these guys feed into each other? No, it looks like they need to be on a inserter line. They do. Okay, this is kind of awkward, isn't it? Okay, I think I get it. Right, so these have to be fed off the inserter just like the launchers do. I can't get past them though to really do that. I need to put away some spare rockets because I've got too many on me. I don't want to waste them. These things are kind of expensive. And as you can see, I seem to be having issues with deuterium fuel rod supply, which is kind of bad considering the fact that I run a bunch of my mining planets and things now on deuterium fuel rods. So it's another point towards like getting dedicated production planets going. Because it might just genuinely be useful. Also, where's the last thing that's been lost? I want to find it. There we go. Okay. So, I need to do the Dyson sphere thing. It needs to be rotated. Unfortunately, I can't click and drag that, so it has to be further out. No. 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 It doesn't want to this close to the planet's pole. I'm not even sure if he'll let me do that. Oh, it will if I'm near the equator. Okay. I see, so it's just being very difficult. Fine. Give me a sec to work up a launch pattern for this thing. Oh my. Here we go, here we go, here we go. We have 8,316 rockets in the bank. So all my much vaunted and massive production and industry has managed to churn out. We've got all these guys set up to launch. I forgot to give them inserters though. Whoopsie. At least that's the easy part though. I can just... I can't? Oh wow, I have to go around and do all this manually? Oh dear. That's a shame. Also, that means that some of my power coverage is not quite enough as well, doesn't it? I think you can tell I'm slightly fatigued. Ah, well, whatever. I'll get this sorted out pretty quick. This will also be the last segment, I think, of the actual thing. So, I've got some launchers ready to roll at least. Let's go ahead and do the thing, because there was enough of a gap here to put in a local supply station. Give me a full load of drones only. Give me rockets. You'll maintain like 500. And demand it. There we go. And notice it's, by the way, it's making sure to quad stack everything. Just to make sure. And then we should be able to start seeing these things launch. Oh, it unfurls. It prepares a thing. And then it goes whoosh. And it doesn't matter if it's on the dark side of the planet as well, which is also very nice. This rocket will carry your dreams to 1002 according to established trajectory. Nice. I've almost got all of these now. But the rockets are now launching. Most excellent. Let me see, where was I on the inputs? There it was. Got to remember though, I don't think I'll be able to keep up this pace. Not with the rocket launchers. Quite simply because I won't be able to produce the rockets fast enough, not with my current thing. So I think going forward I'll probably fall back on what I was talking about earlier, of like, you know, production worlds. Like worlds dedicated to doing a single thing, just because that seems like the ultimate condensing, I guess you could say, of the idea of rather than using belts, using the logistics system. And just for simplicity of localized manufacture. Plus it gives you like, you know what you're doing in a certain place. So admittedly that does mean that worlds will depend very much on the logistics network and not be able to supply themselves for the most part. Yeah, that's loading, that's loading. Should be almost there. Yeah, just a little bit more. And there we go. Okay, right, so that's doing that. I'm actually getting a decent rocket output going on at the moment. And what's going on with the actual thing? They're all launching over to there. Which is... yep, starting to build a thing. Hooray! Gotta admit though, it's going kind of... it's taking a little while. Actually, that's the point. Will it be able to pull off from the ring here, or is that too far away? I guess we'll know if it starts to pull from this thing here. Gotta remember that I did build the squares as well. Or will it? Or does it require that the actual thing be completely ringed before it starts pulling in satellites? I have no idea. It looks like it's not pulling in satellites though, so I'm guessing an entire area has to be sectioned off before it'll do it. But yeah, there we go. We actually have the initial part of the Dyson sphere going up now. And it's going up pretty quickly, actually. You know what? I'll just so we can see it, I'll wait until we start getting some actual, you know, an actual grid piece going up. And that'll be the last part of this particular episode. Oh wait, is that it? Is that it? These little blue dots. I was looking at them, I thought briefly that those were the cargo rockets, but no, those things are moving way too fast. No, those blue things are satellites being pulled out of the swarm, aren't they? Yeah, I think they are. It's very slowly, but satellites are being pulled out and put into place. So we're almost there. You built a Dyson sphere cell. At the moment, as you look up at the Dyson sphere built on Cassia, feels like your efforts have paid off. It will gradually become more and more complete, so enjoy this special moment. Where's the cell? Well, these things are getting satellites. The satellites are being locked in quite steadily. It's not like there's a shortage of satellites around the place. It's just the structural members are, I think, the main sticking points. I'm not even sure. The thing is, though, that they're pulling... It doesn't seem to matter what orbit they pull the satellite from. It's just that they're just pulling it from both rings, I guess. I'm not entirely sure. But we've also not seen a cell appear yet, so I think we'll wait for that. Or, you know what? No, actually we won't, because it seems like they aren't going to build up an entire square first. Oh, there it is. There's the cell. A couple of cells just there. But, yeah, they aren't building up a square. They're actually building up other anchor points as well first. So, that seems to be slightly random. There is a cell on the other side of the Dyson sphere. Let's fly up close to that and then I'll end the episode. As more grids start to go up. Well, grids, anchor points. You know what I mean. Though from the looks of it, it goes anchor point, then halfway across the connector to the next anchor point, and then that's as far as it requires via rockets, and then it'll wait for that next anchor to be built before it does anything. But yeah, we're getting our first cells up. Wish I knew how to slow down when I'm doing this transit, but yeah, there we go. For now though, this has been Iron Mark 3. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope you guys are enjoying the show, and we'll catch you all some other time. The Dyson sphere begins, very much so. But look at the increase in power supply after we started producing more Dyson Swarm components. Massive jump. It's still not enough though, we're still demanding more than it can produce. Hopefully that'll be fixed soon. But yeah, until then, see you all later.